Hi, I'm Matt Lane. I'm on the Norwood Board of Selectmen. I think as the newest member, my day-to-day responsibility is to really kind of get caught up to speed on a lot of things that have been going on. So it's a lot of reading, it's a lot of emails, and a lot of questions, a lot of follow-up things. It's nice because in the summer we generally only meet every other week as opposed to every week during the September to June. So the pace has been good to get acclimated, but there's a lot of stuff going on, and I think that the best thing for me to do is really just dive in, and so that's what I've tried to do, and lean on the other selectmen because they've got a wealth of knowledge. So my wife and I moved here in 2011. She was pregnant when we moved to Norwood, and my daughter was born in October 2011. So a few years after that, I was elected to town meeting, and sort of that's how it started. Got interested in a couple other things locally, and was able to get on the capital outlay committee, which was really cool because I was able to see, how the budget works in terms of planning and purchasing, and it was a nice education on sort of the things in town that were important, getting a handle on those things. Well, I'm lucky enough that when we moved here, my parents followed us, so that was really great. So my wife and children are the most important people. My wife, Lynn, is a school teacher, and my children are 8 and 5, and they'll both be at the Cleveland School next year in some form or another. And my parents live about a mile away from us in town, and my brother and his wife and their 2 kids live in Norwood as well, and they followed us here too. And my sister and her husband and her daughter live up on the North Shore. So I've got some good family close by, which is really great, and it's been helpful to have them during this time. When I'm not working, I like to hang out with the kids. Lately we've been doing a lot of stuff outdoors, a lot of hikes, bike rides, stuff like that. I think if I have time to myself, I like to read, listen to music. Those are probably 2 of my hobbies. I have a pretty good vinyl record collection in the basement, and so when I go into the basement, usually on a Friday night, and put the headphones on, that's a nice way to decompress. Well, we used to live in Chicago. That's where I met my wife. So I lived in Chicago for about 8 years after college. And we've taken the kids there before. And if I had somewhere to go, if I could go somewhere, I'd probably go there. It's a really great city. And just especially in the summertime or during a normal summer, there's just, the food, the music, parks, museums. It's just a great place to go. So I would say, probably if I could take a vacation now, we'd go there. Then probably the number one is the Elks parking lot because that's where we take a majority of our bike rides, and so we spend a lot of time there. Not necessarily like a cool spot, but we go to Haas Pool a lot. It's pretty close to where we live. And even this summer, it's a little different, but they're doing a really good job running it. And so we were there last night. And during the summer, we go to Haas a whole lot. And restaurants, we live a block away from the Colonial House on Savin Ave. And my kids are kind of picky, so we don't go to restaurants a whole lot because spending a lot of money on something that they take one bite of is, but they like the Colonial House, so. There's probably 2. The birth of both my kids was pretty special, and I'd probably slide in my wedding day there. I think my first job would probably be sort of following around my dad with a broom and cleaning up job sites, things like that. He's a carpenter by trade, and so it was probably definitely hanging around whatever job he had and carrying things and throwing stuff in a dumpster, and not necessarily hammering anything together, because that's not my skill set, and he probably realized that pretty early on. So, I was able to do that, and then growing up, worked at restaurants and things like that, and actually one summer I worked on a fishing boat, which was pretty cool. Honda Civic, but I didn't own a car until I was 28, because we lived in Chicago. I went to college in Ohio, in the middle of the state. No one needed a car. And then I moved to Chicago. You don't need a car if you live in Chicago. So we got one when we moved to Boston. And so Honda Civic. My mom took me to go see Warren Zevon. I was a big Warren Zevon fan. Probably a little too young to understand all the lyrics, but I was young. So she took me to go see Warren Zevon, which was really cool, but I didn't understand the concept of what an opener was for a show. So we get to the show, it was great. He was on first, and he played for like 45 minutes, and he stopped. I said, "Oh, why did he play so short?" And she said, "Oh, I didn't tell you that the main guy is Eddie Money," which I'm not an Eddie Money fan, and so it was pretty funny. I think we stayed for one song, and I said, "No, these guys are very different." But that was my first concert. Probably Jaws. We watch it every 4th of July. Probably Moby Dick. Yeah, I was an English major in college, and I wrote my thesis on Moby Dick, and so it's not like one that you just pick up and read on a random day. So I could probably stand to reread it. It's been a while, but it's probably the book I've dug into the most.